Welcome back to the Smash Parody series, a project within the shared universe concept of Shareverse. I'm AJ, and this video will be hopefully short, as it is a rundown of the other failed attempts of Super Smash Lesbians Ultimate's Season 1 finale. The newcomer rundown and the fate of the Rob role had been addressed in other videos. I promise this will be the last time I will bring up Season 1, and the later seasons will go by fairly quickly. Starting off with Rex accidentally killing Banjo and Kazooie in front of the studio before Season 1's premiere. Right on cue, Gruntilda's spirit showed up. She had been dead for almost a year, but was unable to interact with the world as a ghost. With the death of her arch-rivals, she used a soul-switching spell to resurrect her body at the cost of the other souls being sucked. In other words, Gruntilda began running around causing mischief at the start of Ultimate, which leads to the next major plot point of the season. Just to be clear, this video will start and end with the discussion of Fire Emblem Three Houses, as it was the hot Nintendo game of the time, and one that I was playing when coming up with Season 1 stuff, including my reflection playing it. Around the midway point, the game introduces a character named Kronia, who had a really cool design and had the potential of being a pseudo-rival to Byleth, since she killed their dad in the previous chapter. But halfway through her debut chapter, she's used as a sacrificial lamb to send her and Byleth into the Realm of Darkness and presumably dies. My reflection became so enraged that he ordered both Rex and Melina to the Realm of Darkness to rescue Kronia, as a potential third member of the DLC crew. He assumed that she was still floating in there, not being able to die, and it was convenient since the Realm of Darkness was an area that all universes in Shareverse can access. With Mickey having extensive experience of the realm, he became their tour guide. The good news was that they found Kronia. The bad news was Gruntilda beat them to her, eviscerated her body, and carried her away. Shortly after, AJ realized that all of Three Houses DLC was leaked, and Kronia being an additional unit was never once considered. So, yeah. Another important thing to note was a death battle that occurs during Season 1. In Shareverse, depending on the fight, it will feature the real Astral Souls, but on even more rare occasions, it will be the Parody series members stepping in. For Ganon vs. Dracula in this case, Nozomi Tojo's Ganon role was pitted against Jackie Valentine, who was kind of the Dracula to Miss Lilith's Richter in the Blood of Sub-Zero storylines. Much like the real death battle, Jackie's were-jackal form ripped Nozomi in half. But oddly enough, it was the fox goddess Ari to request Nozomi to Hell's prison, as she spotted that Nozomi carried a defective holy gene from birth, which basically allows that person to not only have a devil form, but become a host to Ari. So, she used that opportunity to latch onto Nozomi during her 24-hour service, and once that was up, Ari was able to walk around the Earth once more. Aside from the Fighter Pass opponents that Rex fought for his DLC quest, when it came to the Combat Pack fights, Melina's next opponent was Sindel, who went easy on her as they just went out for lunch, making it clear that she was the favorite daughter and not Sindel's legitimate biological one. Following that and Korra's messy departure, Season 1 continued into the new year, where the Astral co-owner of the Disney alignment was hell-bent on one request. Lilithmon wanted to fight Starla, as they never shared a proper fight from either Blood of Sub-Zero installments. So the date was set for that to be the new Season 1 finale, and it was heavily anticlimactic. So the search for a good Season 1 finale continued, especially when that fight was so close to the announcement of the final Smash character in the Fighter's Pass. And the moment I saw Byleth's trailer be an alternate version of the cutscene where he's sent to the Realm of Darkness, with the only difference being Kronia's absence, I felt nothing. I got bamboozled so many times with these trailers that nothing fazed me. You can't make this up. Not only was Byleth dropping on a specific date, but Joker for Mortal Kombat 11 was getting an early release on that same day. which meant the new finale for Season 1 were to feature Rex fighting Byleth and Melina fighting Selena Kyle's Lepartus form as a substitute for the Joker. Rex and Byleth's fight was so evenly matched in terms of power and abilities that after 5 rounds, the hosts concluded that the fight was a draw. As for Melina, while she did defeat Lepartus, she wasn't as satisfied on how it went and was concerned with how Rex's fight ended may not allow him to complete his DLC quest. Likewise, AJ wasn't satisfied with the match and scrapped it as the finale. Another episode was being streamed a few days later, and by that point, both AJ and Starla were considering to scrap the idea of Smash Lesbians Ultimate having multiple seasons. That was until they saw a giant portal opening right outside. Gruntilda had sent an entire army of ghouls and other ghosts to destroy the production as the start of her conquering the Prime Universe. With no time to think, AJ grabbed all of the cameras in the studio and forced everyone in the building to fight the intruders, claiming that this will be the final true, for real this time, Season 1 finale. Everyone made their way to the portal into Spiral Mountain for the big showdown, with the DLC crew being the front lines. Carmilla also attended due to her past visit, and even the other challenges during the DLC quest assisted the crew. But it was AJ who ordered the DLC crew to head to Gruntilda's lair and take her out. Upon entering the once abandoned castle, it was apparent that the ghouls that Rex fought in Subcoral Knights 2 appeared different than before, almost more human-like. Byleth certainly was getting flashbacks back outside. When reaching the stairs, a figure was thrown towards the three. All members immediately recognized it to be Kranya, but unlike before, she appeared as a hollow husk who collapsed before making an attack. Further inspection revealed that her entire innards were completely removed. Infuriated, Rex made his way to the main chambers of the lair to find something even more haunting. A test tube revealing the exposed central nervous system of the human body. Gruntilda appeared before the crew and explained that she initially went to the realm of darkness to fetch Kranya because of her Agarthan genetics being a huge source of power to her magic. Once the body was eviscerated, Kranya's nerves were yanked out and became the basis for Grunty's new soldiers, explaining some of these similarities to the source of their creation. This was the breaking point for Rex. Sure, Kranya was a sociopathic and psychopathic murderer who kills for fun, but he drew the line when a person is used and abused for someone else's motives. He rallied both Numa and Melina to fight the witch, but were blown away by how much power she had now. That didn't stop Rex from getting back on his feet and continued to wail on Gruntilda, Melina joining in for ranged support. Eventually, Numa was able to summon Siren and slice the lair in half, with Grunty in the middle of it. But Gruntilda was still alive, and she was about to cast a huge fireball at the three. But right when she was about to let go, her entire body was pinned to an otherworldly force. Behind her stood the test tube, with Kranya's spirit holding her back from unleashing her powerful move, giving the DLC crew ample time to land their own finishing blow, Melina's Coral Blast and Siren's Infinity Blade being more than enough to kill the witch and everything around her. Her death emitted a large amount of energy, which allowed Banjo and Kazooie's souls to return to their bodies, and all of her army to dissipate into thin air. The DLC crew was victorious, in a grand way to end Season 1 of the Parody series. But right when they were about to leave the lair, they noticed a peculiar discovery. Kranya seemed to have been resurrected following Gruntilda's death, albeit in a coma. And considering how much trouble she would be in with Byleth, they kept this revelation to themselves. Instead, they told AJ the news and arranged to leave Spiral Mountain last, in order to bring back her body in the Prime Universe when no one was looking. He then placed her in a secluded area in the studio's recovery room where only him and the DLC crew knew about her existence. Kranya's coma would only last a full week, until awakening into the Season 2 premiere. And on that note, that was the entirety of Season 1 to Super Smash Lesbians Ultimate. which means that the first part of the production has been told in 4 parts. Honestly, with the next few seasons, there's not a whole lot to talk about, so much like the original video, I will be combining what happens in Season 2, 3, and the quote-unquote movie all in one video. If you liked this video and all of the cool stuff that happens in it, make sure you like and subscribe. With that, I'm AJ, and I'll see you all in the next one.